team record for single-season touchdown passes with 34. He's become just the second quarterback in team history to pass for more than 4,000 yards in a season.
Hey, what about Ryan Lee? Wheel ahead, wheel ahead.
All right, here they are. Hall of Famer. I'm fortunate to be sitting next to him. I will be on Sunday as my broadcast partner, Dan Fouts. Good to see you, buddy. Congratulations. One of the best long ball throwers I've ever seen, and he hit the bomb at Pittsburgh that got the Chargers into the Super Bowl. Humphries.
He looks exactly the same.
Regret that John Hadel, the supercharger, unable to be with us tonight, but we do have one more, probably the fan favorite here. He can hit the bomb. Philip
Rivers, Stan Humphries, and Dan Fouts on the same stage. Are you kidding me? That's freaking awesome.
All the way to the Hall of Fame. How do you explain that? Bad attitude, too. I forgot about that. This is such a great night for so many of us. I want to thank the Spanoses for having this great celebration of the Chargers' 50th anniversary.
We love you,
And so many of the guys I looked up to, Lance Allworth, John Hadel, Keith Lincoln, Paul Lowe, Walt Sweeney, and then so many of my teammates with Don Coryell,
The greatest quarterback.
coach. And then to see these young guys that are carrying it on, it's just fantastic. The lightning bolts, the Super Bowl and everything, and that's where we're going this year, right, Phil? Well, I think that was more than a rhetorical question. How about it? Is this team developing into a Super Bowl contender? We got a nice little run going, and I know it's boring, but we're kind of on that whole one game at a time path. But if we can keep it up, this will be a special year. Well, I was going to ask you who your idol was growing up, but since you also have slow feet, I suppose Fouts was the guy. Huh? You mentioned all the footwork and all that, so that's good. I don't have much technique-wise to live up to, but I put a ton to live up to with these two guys, and it's, Dan mentioned it. It's a heck of a group to be a part of, and being a current player, it's a little weird or hard to be put in company with these guys, but it's certainly an honor, and they've set the foundation, and now we're trying to keep it going and win a championship. Stan Humphries, closest of all, he took the Chargers to a Super Bowl. What can you tell the fans, tell the current Charger players about that experience? Anything as you sit back and you assimilate being a Super Bowl player?
Well, I think it's a great experience, and I'm hoping that this year's team can get there and experience it. And it's one of those things, you look at the three of us, none of the three of us were going to outrun anybody. We just kind of stood there and made all the throws we could make. But, it's an experience that is once in a lifetime, and I know when we went through it to go to the Super Bowl, it brought this whole city together as one. And it's something that you'll always remember. And I sit at home every Sunday and back in Louisiana, and I sit there and root for the Chargers. And we're going to sit this Sunday and take care of Kansas City, and then we'll move from there.
All right, final round of questions. We'll let you go back to your libations and lozenges. You've been such a great audience tonight. Philip Rivers, your idol as a kid growing up, who was the quarterback you admired and why?
Well, I think, Ryan Lee.
in North Alabama. There wasn't a whole lot of good pro football around North Alabama, so I had to look way out west to San Diego to come find a home.
As many of you know, he wears 17 because that was his father's number, and he honors his dad every time he steps onto the field. Dan, who was your favorite? Well, you know, I grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we had a lot of guys that came out of there. Bert Jones, Terry Bradshaw, and a guy named Joe Ferguson. And I really looked up to Joe Ferguson. I worked out with him some when I was a high school kid in the summer with him and Roger Carr and some of the guys in the past. And you know, I really looked up to Joe and tried to kind of just model my game as far as throwing the deep ball. I thought he threw the deep ball really, really well. And just kind of, there's a lot of those Louisiana quarterbacks that made it that I just kind of live up to them. Strong arm. Dan, who was your favorite?
Well, I was lucky enough in my rookie year to play with Johnny Unitas. And thanks to Lance Allworth, they retired Unitas' number here in San Diego. But now, I'm a broadcaster, a professional broadcaster.